Hello, my name is Jayce Wilson, and today I'm going to be doing my presentation on the Virtual Business Simulation Challenge. So just before we get into things, I'm just going to go over a quick little overview of what I'm going to be talking about. So first off, I'm going to start with an explanation of VBS, so what it is and how you can use it. And then I'm going to go over my personal experiences with VBS, so what I've done in my lifetime and how it's helped me. And then I'm going to go over how I believe, and not only I believe, but the future of learning is within VBS. So just like I said, a quick little overview of what they are. So it's going to be a mixture of quizzes, articles, and simulations for high school and college students alike in order to kind of just gain real-world experience without that real-world risk. So you're just going to be able to go through simulations, read articles, take quizzes so that you can just kind of go through and learn a whole bunch of different knowledge about different topics. And here I have listed all the different topics that the VBS simulations have. And I spent the majority of my time with the sports marketing and the management ones, but there's a ton of different options you can go through. And each simulation is actually unique to its own topic. So like sports management, for example, you get to control a stadium, and each one, like I said, is unique to its topic. So hotel, you get a hotel, management, you get to manage. Simulations, they're very easy to learn and understand. I started off freshman year taking my first simulation, and pretty much everyone I know in the whole class and always had just simplicity going through the process. And, you know, as long as you're listening, they're very easy to learn and understand, and you can gain a ton of knowledge just from doing the tasks that they present to you. And there's no installation required. The VBS Knowledge Matters simulations are completely web-based. So just kind of to get a little more look into the sim. So here, up here on the top of the screen, I have the sports and entertainment marketing one. And you have a little pull-down tab here. So this is going to be all the various tasks you can control. So you can control things such as staffing, sponsorships, concession. And in each individual tab, you actually get to go in and manage those topics. So there's a wide variety of tabs, and sports and entertainment actually allows you to control those. So kind of going into a little bit about me. So my family, neither of my parents have business experience, but in the early 2000s, we actually decided to start a dog registration and dog show company that has now kind of taken off. So in about 2019, when I first started doing these sims, it was my freshman year, and our company actually experienced a big boom in these dog shows around that same time. So, you know, as this company was starting to grow, I was starting to take these sims and starting to learn the knowledge through simulations. So within these sims, we get to, in the sports and entertainment one, you get to control the stadium. So when you're controlling the stadium, there's different companies that are going to come to you, or different, here we have artists that are going to come to you so you can host an event, and they're just going to come to you and they're going to ask, you know, to book your stadium. And going into this with the dog shows, I had never really experienced how I'm going to be able to talk to these venues, and how, you know, we had no idea. We're kind of going in blind. We had no idea how to book these venues. But through the simulations, you know, you get the chance to run a stadium, which is something that I'd obviously never get to experience at 17 years old. So when I was learning about this, I learned what kind of things, you know, venues would like to see when they're booking events, and just how to better book these events and how to land the venues that we want, rather than just going in blind and just kind of hoping that we can get these shows. So right here in the top right-hand corner, we actually rented out the George R. Brown Convention Center, really nice venue in Austin, Texas. And, you know, it was just a great event, a great show. And we was all able to, just through the knowledge that I was able to gain, I was able to help my family book that venue. So some more skills have also helped. I actually recently helped manage a local semi-professional soccer team. I'm a big soccer guy. So as I was going through the process of managing this team, we were actually trying to figure out, you know, what should we do with the players that we currently have, and how should we bring in new players, and, you know, what kind of things do we look into? So salaries is a big part of that. Not everyone was getting paid, but you got to figure out, you know, with the small financials that we had at this club, how can we bring in the players with the best stats and with the best whatever, so they can help, you know, expand our program and make us much better than we can be. So going through the sports and entertainment one, you actually get an opportunity to select players based on salary, based on the stats they give you. And this really just helped me understand, you know, what kind of players I want to bring in, so what you're looking for in stats, but how to also still doing that in a way that you're keeping your total salaries in the green. And then just keep on to learn. Customer feedback, such a huge part of any business in the modern day and age. And you're just going to, no matter what, where you're working, no matter anything, you're going to get feedback. And this feedback in these simulations is realistic. So in this one, the top right corner that I have here, I'm actually managing a trampoline park. So within this trampoline park, you get to manage it, and you get to select things such as how much customers will pay and what products you're offering or what services you're offering. So here you can see some customers complaining about the price. And this is just like one of those things that, like, as a manager in a real world situation, a customer's going to complain about the price and you're going to lose that customer. And not a customer, but you're going to risk losing your job. And at 17 years old, you're never going to get to experience what it's like to manage a company like this, where in these simulations, I get to experience it and I get to see that feedback and see the issues that I make, but I still get to correct them. And I get to figure out, what I can do to actually fix the situation without ruining a company and possibly ruining myself in the process. And the marketing management one has really kind of helped me to figure out what I want to do with my life. And I think that these simulations, they can just give you so much insight on realistic topics that it can really help some students just figure out, what they want to pursue. So for me, I think management is something I want to pursue past my high school. So if I further education, I would really like to go into that field. And I think the simulations help me that. And another issue that we're going through right now, I was reading a Harvard Business magazine the other day, and it's discussing how there's a lack of young people within leadership roles in business. And in this article that I was reading, they had this statement here. It says, emotional maturity involves a fundamental shift in self-awareness and behavior, and that change requires practice, diligence, and time. And I was thinking about this, and I just couldn't help but think, how these simulations have helped me, and not only me, but so many other people through that practice, through that time, and not only that, but the diligence. The things that you're learning in the simulations are real world situations. And most people my age that are younger aren't going to be able to experience this. And that's why you don't have younger people in these leadership powers positions, because they don't know how, and they don't know how to control these businesses. But through the use of the Knowledge Matters virtual business simulations, I've learned so much of how to control businesses that I think that emotional maturity, I can comfortably say that I'm one of the few people that have that at my age because of these simulations. And I'm just don't just take my word. If you go through a whole bunch of magazines right now are talking about the future of business. So here I have the business magazine of West Virginia University, and they're saying that the future of business is here with business simulations, not referring directly to the virtual business simulations of Knowledge Matters, but just business simulations in general. And same thing with the Forbes magazine. They said business simulations can be a powerful tool in leadership development. And this is where I think that VBS sets itself apart from other simulations, is that VBS isn't solely for people outside of the workforce. No, it's for students. And there's nothing quite like it. There's nothing for students to be able to learn this simulation, this real world experience. There's no other company that's doing it. And I mean, from what I've experienced in my time, Knowledge Matters is that program that can really help you. And just connecting the world right now. It makes education widely available. Anyone can learn this, and anyone can do it. I remember freshman year, I was kind of coming to high school, and I probably wasn't the brightest student. But these simulations are so easy to learn. They're so easy to understand. They're so easy to get takeaways from. It's just so easy to learn. And currently, VBS is primarily in North America, so US and Canada. But that's due to change. The world is changing right now. If you can't tell, technology is coming everywhere. And I think that VBS being that platform for youth and for people just seeking education, I think that this is a perfect platform for people to learn. And like I said, just these virtual business simulations, companies everywhere are switching the training employees off this, and they're looking for employees who already have knowledge coming in. And these simulations, I can tell from my personal experience that when I'm going off into the work world now, I'm going to have so much more knowledge than peers, my counterparts that never got the experience to go through these and go through them at all. And this really just is going to be the future of education. So I just kind of want to wrap this presentation up with a quote from Nelson Mandela. It says, knowledge is power. And I think that these simulations, they're giving you that knowledge, and they're giving me, not only me, but the people my age that are in these simulations, the power to come and control our futures and to control our generation. These simulations are teaching us so much that we're going to be able to go off into the workforce and into the real world, and we're going to be able to make a change. So I'd like to say thank you to VBS for investing into our future, and thank you for investing into the youth.